Scriptropolis. This funny chaos on a stage is the world's first original solo play to highlight retail crime and loss prevention, and it's coming to the Northampton Center for the Arts. This comedy-drama story of self-discovery follows elderly security guard Steve Smelly. He thinks his complacency at a department store is a way of life, until a staff shortage hits the loss prevention department. Under the strict eyes of the evil corporate manager, Mr. Coldstone, Smelly is reassigned as a loss prevention detective to curb rampant shoplifting. If he fails, he will find himself out of a job. To make matters worse, he stumbles a shocking discovery that will not only test his loyalty to the store, but also his decision will impact his cherished relationship with co-workers. Don't miss this groundbreaking show, in which Ken Harris performs 12 characters in an 80-minute story that will leave you on the edge of your seats. Check out the show dates below and get tickets to Foes of a Minimum Wage Guard today.
This project is funded by a grant from the Springfield Cultural Council. Thank you. Hey guys, welcome back to video 3 of Scriptropolis, a Playwrights journey. This is just a free association. Whatever comes to my head, I just describe the thought process and my journey in writing this solo play called Foes of a Minimum Wage Guard. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe and like button. And at the bottom, check out the link to my website with the latest regarding my play, Foes of a Minimum Wage Guard. It's the first world solo show that addresses retail crime, shoplifting, and loss prevention. So it's the first show of its kind. There's no other show out there like that as of this video. But I am the first actor-writer to highlight this on a stage as a solo artist. Just to pick up where I left off regarding the writing process, I like to say when you begin to write your own play, if you're interested in doing that, try to pick a time, a routine time and place that's convenient for you. All writers have different ways to go about that, so you must choose a time or place to write. You may want to write before you go to work. You may want to write after you come home from work. You may want to write in a certain room. You might want to write at a certain hour. You may be like me. You want to probably hear music while you're writing. Me personally, when I write, I'm listening to jazz music. I'm even listening to old music from the mall. You know, music comes on in the mall back in the days. I don't know how to say that, music. But anyway, as I'm writing, I don't write the descriptions. What I'm doing, I'm actually planning out the story. I'm just organizing my thoughts and the situations and events that happen throughout the course of the story. When I actually start to write the piece, I actually write dialogue. I actually take another notebook and I'm just looking at the scenes as I have planned out, and I'm writing the dialogue. And what helps me to write dialogue, again, is music. I just use music. Music, for me, it conveys a tone, a feeling, a thought. And I use the sound of music actually gives me ideas on how to write. For you, it may be different. It may come out, the words may come out naturally to you, the characters' thoughts and feelings. So just do whatever you like to do. And again, the hardest part of writing is not the actual writing itself, but it's the rewriting. I would also encourage that if you have any contacts, I'll say friends, family members, friends. You may have friends look at your your story, and just give you some critical feedback on that. Just be wary of getting opinions from someone who may just tell you, "Oh, it's great, it's wonderful." You want to find someone that's willing to give you some sound advice. Whether or not you want to pay for that advice through professional services, that's entirely up to you. I'm going to get more into that a little later. But it took me, again, 1 week to write out the story, and then it took me like a few months of rewriting. Now, what do you do when you have a script that's fully written that you're happy with? You know, you have a beginning, you have a middle, you have an end, you have plot points, you have the setup, you have a midpoint that connects the story, and then you reach the climax. You have the story, you have everything. You're satisfied with the story. It took you months to write it. So where do you go from there? Well, luckily for me, I am a member of Springfield Mass Studios. I'm a board member. And I'm also friends with the owner of Cellar Productions, Anthony Zawowski, and Brian McFarland of Springfield Mass Studios, and they helped me get this project off the ground. So they wanted to help me from the beginning, and I'm truly grateful to have people that were there from the beginning to help me make this play come to life. Now, what I had to do on my part was memorize my lines and rehearse. Now, again, 60-page script. How do you go about that? So after I wrote the script, I asked myself, what did I get myself into? I've talked to everybody. I told everyone about this story. How am I going to memorize a 60-page story with 12 different characters, 10 to 12 different characters? So I read the script, and I read it as a whole, and I was just reading it for some time, but I still wasn't memorizing everything. I could memorize situations and events in the story. I don't know what that is, a garbage truck or a plane outside. If it's a plane, I hope it doesn't hit my house. Oh, whatever it is, it went by. Okay, we're good. Where was I? So then I thought about, let's break it down. Just like you break down your story and you don't do everything at once, why not try to memorize everything at once? So what I did was I took 1 page a day, and I made an effort to memorize 1 page per day. Now, it didn't always happen that way. Sometimes it took me 2 or 3 days because I work a life. I work outside of arts. I have a day job. So it was difficult sometimes, and I have a family. So I always made it my goal to memorize 1 page a day, but sometimes it would take me a couple of days to remember a page. So that's what I did. And after so many months, I memorized the story. I memorized the play itself. After I memorized the lines, I spent the next part of my pre-planning stage of rehearsing the characters, ensuring that they sound differently, thinking about their motivations. I mean, who knows your character more than you do? You're the one that wrote your character. You constructed your characters from the beginning. So the heart, the life, the lungs, the nervous system of your story comes from you. So you know your characters. So it took me that part to remember. It took me that avenue to recall remembering those characters. And then again, with my relationship with Springfield Mass Studios and Cellar Productions, they actually came to my home and watched me rehearse. And I was able to get some constructive feedback. And I also had a director of Springfield Mass Studios, Denise. She is so wonderful. She directed me. She helped prepare me, and she was able to offer me some criticism. I also enlisted the great Chaz Palminteri, the writer, Oscar-nominated actor from The Bronx Tale. So I received funding from the Springfield Coastal Council, and I used whatever I had left over to acquire professional services from an Oscar-nominated actor to mentor me, which was truly beneficial. I wasn't sure what I was getting into with that. I would not recommend that. I mean, if you feel in your heart that you could use some professional services that will cost some money, by all means, do what you feel is right. But in this situation, I connected with Mr. Palminteri, and he mentored me, and it was a very invaluable lesson for me. Originally, my character on stage had suspenders, and Mr. Palminteri told me I should lose the suspenders. And I said, no, I explained this is what made him, he's an old man. He's going to wear suspenders. And Chaz Palminteri said, no, just lose the suspenders. I had every intentions of keeping suspenders on this old man throughout the play. But the problem with during the rehearsals, I do a lot of moving around for 80 minutes. And the suspenders had a tendency to come off sometimes, pop, sometimes hit me in the face. It was just great because I'm doing a lot of moving around. Then I realized that, you know what? I'm going to lose the suspenders. The suspenders is not going to work. And then, so that I took that, I took that advice, and I also thanked them for that, Chaz. If you ever happen to hear this video, thank you again for that, because those suspenders was not working at all. So also what you can do is you rehearse and you can record yourself. You can record yourself, and you can just look at your, from a third person perspective, see how that's coming across. You can share it on YouTube and share it with some friends. You can share it on social media. You can select certain friends you can see the video, or you can share it public if you're willing to be able to take rejection. Well, I have not had a lot of people tell me that my performance stinks, but there's times when I looked at my rehearsals and I see things that were off. So as an actor, you can see things that are off. So what you need to do at this point is when you finish your writing your piece, read it. Make some changes if you have to. Edit, proofread. If you want to hire a professional person to look over it, and if you have the funds to do so, do it. See if you can have friends look at it. If you're willing to pay, that is, or if they're willing to look at it for free. And just take criticism very well, because that's the part of the business here. But those are some unique challenges when you're doing a show and nobody's there with you. There's no other actors, just you. So that's the whole situation is just unique in itself. But then again, actors have been doing this for thousands of years. From the Greeks, the Romans, over in France, they're all throughout Europe. Solo shows have been around forever. So, just again, write when is a good time for you, rehearse when it's a good time for you, and just enjoy yourself and understand that there's bumps along the road, and also realize that you can remember this script if you have the passion. If you have the drive, just try to memorize up one page a day. If not, try to do it every couple of days. Try to remember one page a day. Record yourself. Record how you sound. Use your phone to record your voice. You can do that when you're rehearsing. So that is it. The next video, I am going to talk about my final rehearsal and my experience with opening night. My first performance was at the Night of Columbus in Chicopee on July 21st. It was the first, that's when the first time the solo show was open to the world. It was in Chicopee, this one-man show about retail crime. So I will be talking about that. I'll be sharing some behind-the-scenes footage and reflections on that night in video 4. I hope this video helped you out. If you have any questions, send me an email, a shout out, send me a message. I'll be more than happy to help you. Again, my website's at the bottom. Check out my upcoming show on Scriptropolis.com. Also, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button here on YouTube. And also subscribe to my website so you can get the latest about what's going on with my show. So thank you and happy writing, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye. This project is funded by a grant from the Springfield Cultural Council. Thank you.
Foes of a Minimum Wage God, written by award-winning filmmaker and actor Ken Harris. chaos on a stage is the world's first original solo play to highlight retail crime and loss prevention, and it's coming to the Northampton Center for the Arts. This comedy-drama story of self-discovery follows elderly security guard Steve Smelly. He thinks his complacency at a department store is a way of life, until a staff shortage hits the loss prevention department. Under the strict eyes of the evil corporate manager, Mr. Coldstone, Smelly is reassigned as a loss prevention detective to curb rampant shoplifting. If he fails, he will find himself out of a job. To make matters worse, he stumbles a shocking discovery that will not only test his loyalty to the store, but also his decision will impact his cherished relationship with co-workers. Don't miss this groundbreaking show, in which Ken Harris performs 12 characters in an 80-minute story that will leave you on the edge of your seats. Check out the show dates below and get tickets to Foes of a Minimum Wage Guard.